Hello everyone, I am Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Sanjay Gupta Tech School. So today we have record triggered flow session and part 2. Yesterday also we discussed about record triggered flow. So this is day 28 and soon we'll be starting learning record triggered flow. So I'm just waiting for more folks to join so that they can also go through with the session. And I hope those who are live right now, so you might have done all the practice related to screen flow and the features which we discussed yesterday. And I can see lots of folks are discussing things on Telegram, so that is good. By doing, you are preparing yourself, and if you help someone, so you are revising the topics. So that is very good, because in real time scenario, whenever you join a job and or if you are already doing a job, and if your junior or your colleague faces any problem, so if you know, so then you will be able to help them. So always learn and then share. So Mahesh is asking when is the next session for project. So I will be doing it later, because now my focus is to start Apex programming, because lots of folks are waiting for those sessions. So maybe when Apex trigger and test classes will be completed, so then we can do development related tasks. So in that we will be including flows and Apex trigger related scenarios as well. Okay, and I hope you might have gone through that project. So flow related few tasks I already added. So if you are good in flow now, so you can just do that at your own. Right, so let's start with the session. So I again welcome everyone who have joined. So this is about me, so I'm just not going to discuss much about this slide. And I think people are now following all the best practices. I can see lots of people are doing practice, they're active, learning, so that is very good. And keep on learning and keep yourself motivated. I just saw a question on Telegram, there is recession in market. So yes, recession is there, but it will pass. So if you are not prepared and there are lots of opportunities available, then also you cannot do anything. So when I am delivering content free of cost, so what is harm in that to learn that free of cost? Because you are not investing any money, you are not wasting your money, you are learning new things, and you never know whenever you get an opportunity and this learning will benefit you, because this bootcamp will be for throughout the year. So initially 6 months is for admin and development, but later on I will be doing cloud related sessions as well. And I already told you, maybe from next month one more separate session will be starting, and that will be more related to cybersecurity. So I will try to give you as much knowledge as I can, so that in different area you can just try and search for the jobs. So my main focus is of your success. As you can see, our tagline is also your success is our mission. So I'm just dedicated for that. So I'm positive, and you can see this is day 28. Still I am positive. I am having positive energy that I had on day 0, and on day 100 also you will see the same energy. Okay, so if you have that same energy, you will surely get a success. So again, in this session, I will be explaining the topic and will give you a demo. And today, for the first time, you will be understanding loop element, how we can use that in flow. And we'll do lots of question and answers that we are doing in each and every session. And I can see lots of people are joining Telegram group and discussing. So keep on adding people, so that lots of people can discuss the doubts. and those who are commenting on YouTube videos, I am trying to answer their questions as well. So recently I saw someone commented on YouTube video like he is able to complete the admin project and he's really happy, like after completion of that project he's able to understand all the topics. So I am happy, right? Because of me people are learning, and learning never go waste. So if you have learned something, so like uh, at particular time it will be utilized. So have faith, and we are in week 8, so soon Apex will be starting next week. So if you have your friends, those who want to brush up their programming skills, so just add them on different platforms. And people are asking to give some brief idea, like is there any prerequisite for Apex. So if you have Java knowledge or any other programming related knowledge, so that is good enough. Otherwise I will plan the session accordingly, so that if you don't have any programming knowledge, still you will be able to understand the concepts, right? So I will be explaining all topics, so in such a way like a beginner is trying to understand the things, right? So it will help those who don't know programming, also those who are knowing programming, they will also get benefited with that. Okay, so these are the things that I expect from you. So upcoming courses you can see, and please support my channel so that it can become popular, and more people can get benefit of this bootcamp, as well as through other bootcamps. Okay, so now I'm going to start today's scenario implementation. So today also we are going to implement record triggered flow scenarios, and these are the scenarios that I'm going to implement today. So if you read the first step, so it says upon account phone update, we need to update all related contacts phone number. So in yesterday's session, like in last session, we discussed if we update something on the child record, so how to update the parent record. So child to parent field update we discussed yesterday. Today we are going to discuss how we can update fields from parent to child. So account is on parent side, and contacts are on child side. So if you do some modification on parent, and through that modification if you want to update all the child contacts, so that is basically known as parent to child update. And we have two options to accomplish that. We can do this implementation without using loop, or we can do it through loop element as well. Right now you will see without loop it will be very simple, and only few elements will be there. But knowingly I will be implementing this scenario through loop as well, so that you get an opportunity to understand how actually loop element works, right? So this way I will try to explain the scenario, and I can see people are asking different questions in the chat. So first I will be explaining this scenario, and at the end I will be taking your questions. Okay, JT is saying there is a background noise, so I think it is due to fans. So let me just slow it down. So I think now background noise won't be there. Okay, so basically, yeah, I just reduced fan. So I think now you won't be having background noise. So just confirm me if you have any background noise now. Just confirm, otherwise I will be starting implementation of flow. So I'm just searching for this page, and here you can see we have this new flow option. So I'm going to implement first scenario without using loop, then we'll see how we can implement that using loop. So I'm selecting record triggered flow. Okay, and scenario is we will be updating account phone number, and on update of account phone number we need to update all child contact phone numbers, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select object as account. Okay, And here we need to select a record is updated. So yesterday, whatever flow we implemented, we selected a record is created. Now we are trying to update account record. So we will be selecting a record is updated. So that you need to decide through your requirement, whatever business scenario you have. So basis on that, you can just select a particular option, right? And here you can apply a condition. So you can just search for phone, and here we have is changed, and you can select true. So true is basically a global constant, so it is predefined. You can just select it, so it will work as a true. So if phone field is just a second. Okay, I think now internet issue is fixed. So I hope you are able to see the screen. Sorry, actually, internet sometimes gives lots of trouble. So now I think you are able to see the screen, and I just shared this flow. So we just implemented this initial part. So I'm going to explain it again if you missed. So we selected object as account, then trigger the flow when account record is updated. Then entry criteria is like phone is changed true, and last we selected this actions and related record. So this is the configuration that you need to do as entry criteria, right? Okay, so now I think internet is working fine and you are able to see the screen properly. Okay, now a requirement says when account phone is updated, we need to update all the related contacts, okay, without using loop element. So here I'm going to click on plus, and here I'm going to search for update records. So I just selected update record element. So I'm just escaping it, clicking on plus, and again searching for update. So here you will see two update record option. So first it is showing update triggering record. Okay, so update triggering record means the record through which this flow is triggered. So that is account. We don't need to do update on account. We need to update related contacts. So you will be selecting this option, update records, right? And here you can write update contacts. Okay, there is a question, what is the difference between every time a record is updated and meets the condition requirement only? Okay, let me just explain that as well quickly. If I open this, so here you will see these two options. How to run the flow for updated record. Okay, every time a record is updated and meets the condition requirement. So if you don't provide any condition, so here basically we used is changed operator, so you won't be able to select any option from here. If you don't provide is changed and you provide generic condition, then these options will be available, right? So every time means whenever your condition matches, whether you are updating that field or not, so your flow will work. And only when a record is updated to meet the condition means if you are updating that particular field which is involved in the condition, then your flow will work. Okay, so this is the basic difference. But if you are using is changed operator, then you won't be able to control these. This will be disabled. And here you can see this information is available because you selected the is changed operator in the condition. You can't change when to run the flow for updated records, right? So this is the basic difference between these. And one more question is there, why we selected action and related record? Because on account update, we need to update related contacts. So if you want to modify related records, in that case, we will be selecting this. In case of like if you update account and through flow also you are updating account record, then you will choose fast field update. Okay, so I hope now everything is clear now. I'm just clicking on done, then clicking on plus. Again, I'm searching for update records. So here I am writing update contacts. Okay, now here what we need to do, we won't be able to select first option. It says use the account record that triggered the flow. So we don't want that. I'm going to select third option. No, I'm going to select the fourth option. So in case of fourth option, we will be able to select the object for which we want some updation. So we need to update related contacts. Okay. Now we need to understand how we can like identify the contacts which are related to that particular account through which this flow is triggered. Right. So on contact, we have account ID field, that is lookup to account. So if any account whose phone you are updating, if that account is having 5 related contacts, so on those 5 contacts, this account ID lookup field will be equals to ID of that account. So I yesterday explained you, whenever this flow will be initiated on account, so all the account record information will be available in this dollar record. So I can select dollar record and then ID, account ID. So if account ID of the record through which this flow is initiated, if that ID is populated on particular contact in account ID field, it means those contacts are related to that particular account. Okay, so if you compare this condition, then you will be able to update only those contact records which are related to that particular account. Right, so this is important to understand. Now we need to select which field we need to update. So if you type phone, so here you can see lots of phone fields are available. Okay, so if you are working on a project and this is the requirement, so you need to make sure either you can ask to your business analyst or architect, like which field we just need to update. So right now I am selecting mobile phone, but in business scenario, if particular field is available, you just need to select that particular field. And phone field value will be available under account record. So account information will be available through this dollar record. So I'm selecting it and then I'm searching for phone. So it will be available here, dollar record dot account phone. So that value will go to this mobile phone automatically. So all those contacts will be updated which are related to particular account whose ID is matching with particular contact's account ID. So this way, without loop, you can just update all the related contacts. Those are available under particular account. Right. So now I'm just clicking on done. So this way, this is very small flow. One element is required here and all your contacts will be updated. So I'm just clicking on save. So update contact without loop. So I'm just adding without loop so that later on we can distinguish. I'm clicking on save. Now activating it. Now whenever I will be modifying this flow, so I will be removing this element and will be showing you how we can implement a loop so that you can understand the requirement of the loop, right? So this flow is active. Now I'm just moving to the UI and moving to particular account. So here you can see I am opening Edge communication and here we have 3 contact records, right? If I go to details, so here phone field is available. So I'm going to update this and here you can see I'm just updating this value and this is dummy data. It is not relevant to any like entity. It is just available for demo purpose. So it was 6000. I am just updating 1 at the end, removing 0 and adding 1 and clicking on save. So this way I just updated account phone. If I go to related and click on view all and open any of the contact, so I just need to see mobile phone field. So here you can see mobile phone field is available with the same value. Okay, if I go back and open any other contact record, so here also you will see that phone value under mobile field. So here we have phone and mobile different, so both are having different values. And remember, all these data is for testing purpose. It is not related to anyone. Okay, and all the data is provided by Salesforce, so we are just testing that. So in your org also you will be having the same data set, so you can just open any account record, and if you modify phone number on account, so all the related contacts phone will be updated automatically. Okay, so this way the first requirement I explained without using loop. Now we need to understand the requirement of loop, like how we can do this scenario with the help of loop, so that we can understand how actually loop works. Okay, so I'm going to modify the same flow. So what I'm doing, I'm just deleting it, right? So you will see this flow will become little bit complicated. So you can just implement it through first solution without loop, but we are going to understand how actually loop works, because in any of the scenario we have not used loop as of now. So I'm going to show you that. Okay, so initial part is already configured. Object is account, then record is updated, then phone is changed, and account and actions and related record, this is available, right? So I'm just clicking on done. It will be as is. Okay, so now first of all I'm going to use an element which is get record. So what I'm going to do, I will be getting means querying. I will be querying all the contacts which are related to account. So I'm not going to update them directly. I will be getting them in the flow. So if you want to fetch, if you want to get certain records in the flow, so for that purpose you will be using get record element. Okay, so here you can write get contacts, then object you can select contact. Now we need to specify the condition, which contacts we want to query or fetch, right? So if you want to query some data set in the flow, so you need to provide a condition. Now for example, the account which we are updating, it is having 5 contacts related, so we want all those 5 contacts in the flow. So those contacts will be having that account ID field that we used earlier, and it should be equals to that $record.id. It means the account record ID through which this flow is initiated. If that ID matches with the account ID lookup field that is available on the contact, so if it is matching, it means those contacts will be fetched. Okay, now here we have this option, how many records to store. So there may be chances you will be having more than one contacts related to that account. So here you need to use all records. Okay, then how to store record data. So we will be choosing all fields, like we can use any field. So we are using this first option, and I'm just clicking on done. So this way what happened, flow will be getting all the contacts in the inside the flow, right? Now let's understand what is loop. So if you want to repeat a process again and again, if you want to repeat a process or same process again and again, so instead of implementing that process again and again, you can just iterate or repeat it with the help of loop. So basically repetition of a step more than one time is loop. Okay, So we created that loop in the screen flow, but we didn't use loop element. We implemented that through decision element. Now in this example, I will be using the loop. Okay. So here, if I open this get context, so all the contexts which we are getting, they will be available in this API get context. So it is now a collection variable. It is now a collection variable. If I show you all the resources, so here you can see we have get context, and this can get context is having all the context related to that account. Okay. Now here I'm going to implement a loop. So I'm clicking on plus. If I scroll, so here this loop option is available. Okay. So here you can see start a loop path for iterating over items in a collection variable. For each iteration, the flow temporarily stores the item in the loop variable. Okay. So whatever name you will be providing here as a label, that will become the loop variable, and it will be having one value at a time automatically. Okay. So this is kind of a complex programming approach that we are doing without writing a single line of code. So I'm going to implement logical solution, but I'm not going to write any line of code. Okay. So I'm writing iterate over context, right? Because through one account, there can be more than one context related. So we just get all those contexts. Now we are going to iterate over those contexts. Now here you can see we need to provide collection variable. Collection variable means which is having all the data. Collection variable means which is having all the data, and all the data is available in the get context. So you need to select this. Here you can see it is record collection variable. Collection means which is having more than one value. It can be record, it can be integer, it can be number, it can be string, any type of value. So here I am going to select this get context. Okay, so loop will be iterating over this collection variable, which is having more than one context. Now we need to specify the direction, first to last or last to first. So generally we prefer first to last. Now you can just read this information properly. So to use the current item in other loop, in other elements in the loop, use the API name of the loop element. So what is the API name of the loop element? It is iterate over context. Example, if your flow iterates over accounts with a loop element named my account loop. So this is example. So you can reference the current item from the loop element. Just start typing my account loop, and you will be finding this current item from loop my account loop. So it means, for example, if your get context is having 5 contexts, so one by one each context will be available in this iterate over context, so that you can just process that. Okay. So I'm just clicking on done. So here you can see a simple or small loop is created. Okay, so this is the icon for loop, like it is showing iteration. So here you can see the path for each. Then here you can apply the plus. Through plus you will be having some elements. Then it will go to top with this loop item. And once this process will be completed, so at last you will be having this after last option, and if you want to do some process, you can just click on plus and you can apply that. So this is basically a loop which will repeat. Okay, so I hope you are with me. So just to conclude whatever we have done, so we just implemented get context, which will be getting all the context related to particular account. There can be more than one context. So this element get context or get record will be treated as collection variable. Collection variable means which is having more than one entities. Then we are iterating over that collection. So one by one each context will be available inside the loop, and then you can just apply the process. Okay, so it will look like complicated. You will see like the earlier implementation was easy. So I would also prefer whenever there is a requirement, so you go with the first solution. But sometimes there will be requirements you need to implement loop. So you need to know how we can apply the loop. Okay. So before going forward, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create two resources. So I'm going to create two new resources, and then I will show you the use of those resources. So I'm creating a variable, and API name will be contact record. Data type I am selecting as record. Object I am selecting as contact. Okay. So just see it carefully. A variable is being created. Its name will be contact record. Data type is record, and it, like contact record, this variable can store contact related information. Okay. So one contact information we can store into this contact variable. Right. So you can just consider like from UI we create a contact record. So similarly in the flow, if you are creating a contact record, you can store that contact record into this variable. Okay. And all these checkboxes you don't need to check. So it can store only one contact record. Clicking on done. So I just created one variable, and here you can see it is under record single variable. Okay. Now I'm going to create one more resource, naming it as contact list. Data type will be record. Object will be contact. Right. Now here what I'm going to do, I will be selecting allow multiple values. Okay. So now the difference between these two resources, the first one which we created as contact record will be storing information of one contact. Here this is contact list, and I am enabling this checkbox. So what is written here, allow multiple values. So it means this contact list will be storing more than one contacts together. It will be working as a collection variable, or you can say as a list. List means where we can store more than one values. And what values? Contact records. Data type is record and object is contact. So more than one contact record will be stored here together. Okay, I'm clicking on done. So you can see contact record is available under record single variable. Contact list is available under record collection variable. Okay, so this way you can just see if you have created a resource incorrectly. So through these headings, you can just make sure whether you have created it correctly or not. Okay, now I am going to this flow. So what I am going to do here, I am going to add one assignment. Okay, so here assign contact information. So we just need to update contacts one by one. Those we queried through get contacts. So get contact is having all the contact queried in the flow. Right. So for example, if you are updating any account, and in our case, this account is having three contacts. Like if I open H communication, so this account is having three contacts. So all these three contacts will be available in the flow. Now these three contacts will be repeating, or these contacts will be iterating again and again through that loop. So one by one those contacts will be available, and we'll be storing their information in the contact record that we created. So now here I just need to set the ID, contact ID. Okay, so here I just selected ID. Then you can see contact record dot contact ID is selected here, equals. So here I am just going to search for loop. So you can see we have this variable current item from loop. If you hover on these three dots, so you will see current item from loop iterate over contacts. So just select it, and from here you can fetch the ID. Okay, so the contacts on which we are iterating, that contacts ID will be mapping with this variable that we created. Then click on add assignment, again choose contact record, then dot phone. So here I am selecting mobile phone, then equals, and now here you need to select record. So $record dot account phone. Okay, so what we are trying to do, we are creating a contact record inside the flow, and we are mapping that contact record with the real ID so that we know like which contact we need to update. Then here we are assigning mobile phone with the account phone number. Okay, so this contact record is this contact record we are creating with the ID of like existing contact. Okay, so right now this we are doing in the flow only. It won't be updating your actual contact, right? So this is implemented. Now I am just clicking on done. So here on the screen you can see this element is available. Assignment element that I created is visible on the screen. Okay, so we just assigned that contact to that contact variable that we created in the flow. Now again I am clicking on plus and I am selecting assignment again, and here I am writing add contact to contact list, right? So here you can see this assignment will be adding the contact to contact list, and here I am just searching for contact list. Then here I am selecting add. So this is important. You need to select this add so that contact record you will be able to add. So just select this contact record. It will ask you to select particular field. So don't select, just click outside. We just need contact record. So that contact record which we created in the previous assignment, that contact record will be added to this contact list, right? And later on this contact list we will be passing to update record element. Okay, that is actually a DML statement. DML means data manipulation language. So I'm just clicking on done, right? So this way we are able to create the flow. So we are iterating over the contacts which we get through this get contacts. Then one by one we are assigning that contact information into this contact record variable. Then that contact record variable we are adding into this contact list. Okay, and once this process will be completed, so this process will repeat depending on how many contacts are available in this get contacts. If you have 3 contacts, so this loop will repeat 3 times. If you have 5 contacts, it will repeat 5 times. But after completion, it will come to this at after last. Then here we have this plus. I'm just clicking on it and searching for update records. Here I'm writing update contacts. Now this time what we will be selecting, this third option, use the IDs and all field values from a record or record collection. So we have contact list, so I will be passing that only. So in previous flow we like manually aligned flow values with the object field values, but here we already have all the data in this collection variable, so we are passing that as a whole and then clicking on done. So this way I'm able to show you how we can implement a loop in the flow. Okay, so this is a simple example. So I would not prefer solving this problem with the help of loop, but how loop actually works, that's why I just showed you these this scenario in these 2 different ways. Okay, so every time you should know like can we do it through loop or without loop. So one problem you can implement through different ways, so you should know all the ways of implementing that. Now I'm just clicking on save as, clicking on save, and then I can just click on activate. Okay, So we just modified that flow. So if I refresh this page, and again if I update the account phone information, so we'll see what happens to the related contact. So again I am setting it to 0, right? So if I go to related and open any of the contact, and if I go to details, so here you can see information is changed again. So this way our process is working fine, right? So whatever we are updating on account, it is getting updated on contact as well, right? And you might be thinking implementation of loop is complicated. Yes, but if you want to repeat a process again and again, so for that purpose we only have loop option. Without loop you won't be able to reduce your efforts, right? Now if you see the exercise sheet, so there is one requirement which is related to this scenario. So here I just mentioned whatever I'm demoing in the session, and here the requirements are for your practice. So this is also simple, like whenever account billing address is updated, then you need to update contact's mailing address. So in billing address, basically we have city, state, street, postal code or country. So if anyone is updated, you just need to update all the related contacts mailing address. So here with and without loop, both the options are available. And if you get any problem, so here reference video is available. So just try to implement it without watching this video. But if you get stuck, then you can just see the solution and try to implement it. Okay, don't just watch the recording. Try to implement it at your own so that you can experience whether you are able to do it or not. Okay, so I hope this exercise sheet is helping you. I shared this on LinkedIn as well so that people can use it, those who are not following and want to follow. So for them I just shared it, and it is available with all the session links. So whenever you just want to revise, so links are available here. You can just open and you can just do a quick revision. Okay, so this way, like first use case implementation is done. Now I'm going to implement the second use case, and then I will be interacting with you related to question and answers, right? So there may be lots of questions available, so I will answer each and every question. So next scenario says when an opportunity is set as closed won or closed lost and account is populated. Account is populated means whenever like you are viewing any opportunity, so it is linked to account. Okay, that is known as populated. So then post below message as chatter on the opportunity. So we need to use chatter post action for this, and this is the message that you need to draft. So we will be using the functionality of text template that I used in the screen flow as well, right? So that functionality we will be using, and through that functionality we will be sending a message to the chatter whenever an opportunity is set as closed won or closed lost. So again, this flow will be implemented for record updation, because we are considering initially whenever we are creating opportunity, so it will be in any other stage, and after that it will be updating to closed won or lost. But there may be chances whenever you are creating any opportunity, so initially it is having closed won or closed lost. Okay, so what we can do whenever we are trying to create the flow, so we can choose both the option. So I'm creating new flow, selecting record triggered flow, clicking on create. So here I am selecting object as opportunity. Now we don't know whether that stage will be closed won or lost on create or update, so I'm selecting both. And here we need to specify the criteria, right? So here stage equals closed won, right? Then again condition, so stage name equals close lost, and then account ID is null, false. Right, so these three conditions are available. Now from first and second anyone should happen, and third should be there. So we just need to customize this. So you can just select this option, custom condition logic. So here I'm just going to write or and putting parenthesis. So what does it mean? One or two. Or means any one should be true. So one or two, like if one is true, then also it will work. If two is true, then also it will work. And three. So from one or two, any one should be true, and three should be always true. Okay, so if this is happening, then only your flow will work. Okay, now here again, like we have this option every time a record is updated and meets the condition, only when the record is updated and to meet the condition requirement. So I am selecting only when a record is updated to meet the condition requirement, right? So in that case, if you are updating these fields, then only it will work. If any other field you are changing, then it won't be working. And I'm selecting actions and related records because I just need to use chatter post action, and action we can have in this option only. And I'm clicking on done. So here you can see we have this option. So now I just need to implement an action. So here you can see action is available. So here we need to search for post to chatter. So just search for post to chatter. So this UI will be available, and that you need to configure. So here post to opportunity. So this is the label and API. Then here we have two options. First is message and second is target name or ID. So target name or ID means the record where you just want to post that chatter message. So that ID will be the opportunity ID through which your flow is initiated. So you can search record $record.id. Okay, so this is the opportunity ID where we just targeting our chatter post will be available. Okay, then here we just need to create the message. So actual message that will be available in the chatter post. So you just need to click on new resource. So resource UI will be available. From here you can select this text template. So API name I am providing as chatter post. From here I am selecting view as plain text because I don't need any formatting. And this is the message. So you just need to mention account owner, and then you can write opportunity is closed, won or lost, right? So here you can write @ then square bracket. Inside that you can have $record.owner. So owner ID. So here you can see we have two owner ID. So if you just need owner ID, you can select the second option. But owner is basically user record. If you want something else from that user record, so you can just click on this first option and it will give you other fields related to that user record. But we want owner ID, so I'm selecting the second option and it will be available here in this format. Okay, so initially just type @ then square bracket. Inside square bracket you will be having this owner ID. Now you all know @ means it will be like @ mention. So it will automatically mention that owner of that record, and that user will get a notification. So it can be email or it can be like notification under bell icon, like you are being mentioned in this chatter post. Right? Now here we need to write the message opportunity is closed, won or lost. So I'm writing opportunity is closed, won or lost. So this way we are just creating a text template that we will be using in the post to chatter action so that it will be available under the chatter component of opportunity record. Okay, so now next is close date and then amount. So here we need closed date. So close date is available on the record of opportunity. So in the resource I am searching for record dot close date. right? So this way, this merge field will be available. So no matter whatever opportunity record is, uh, through that opportunity record, close date will be available here automatically, because here we are using the merge fields. So this flow will be working for any of the opportunity record. It is not specific to anyone, right? And after that we have amount. So I'm writing amount, and here again I'm searching for record and dot amount. Okay, so this way this text template is created. Now I'm just clicking on done, so it will be available here, right? So this way it is configured. These are the two required parameters that we need to set, and then click on done. So this way we have created uh, chatter post action, or you can say post to chatter action. So now whenever you open any opportunity and you update the stage from any other to closed won or closed lost, so you will see this chatter post on your chatter component. Okay, so I'm just going to save it. So naming it as post to chatter on opportunity. If you want to use different label, you can. Then click on save. Now you can activate it and go to opportunity. And I can see lots of questions are there in the chat. So after this demonstration, I will take all the Q&A. So don't leave the session before that if you want to listen the answer. So I am just choosing particular opportunity which is linked to account. So if I go to details, so here you can see this opportunity is connected with an account. And here we have stage as prospecting. And if I show you the chatter, so here is the chatter component which is having nothing posted. So if I go here and change the stage to closed won and click on save. So let's come to chatter, and here you can see it is showing stage is changed, and here is the chatter post. So it is mentioning my name because I am the owner of this opportunity, and opportunity is closed won or lost. Close date is available. Amount is not shown because on opportunity detail, if you see, amount is not populated. Amount is blank. Here you can see. That's why on chatter post also it is blank. Right? So this way chatter post is working fine. Right? So you can also implement this flow in your system, and this way you can test it. And if you go here in the exercise sheet, so this you need to implement, and we can do this chatter post through this feed item object as well. So this is another way to do chatter post. So first implement this number 2 through this demonstration, then you can just implement number 4 through this reference video. Requirement is same, but it can be implemented in another way as well. And I have provided 3 more examples which are very easy. So you need to do custom notification. You need to add permission set automatically upon user creation, and add user into public group upon user creation. So these are very simple flows, and I already have some recorded reference videos. So just go through and try to implement, because all the basic idea I already gave you. And if I implement all the scenarios, then that won't be fruitful for you. So just implement them. And if you have any problem, so just comment on YouTube video, or you can just discuss it in the Telegram group. So through discussion, you will be able to understand more, right? Because everybody may have different problems while implementing these solutions. Okay, so this is all about today's session. Now I'm going to take all the question and answers. Sorry, I am going to take all the questions and will be giving all the answers as per best of my knowledge. Okay, so I am starting from the beginning, and if you have done understood this session, if you don't have any question, you can leave. Otherwise, you can be here, and you can listen all the answers. Okay, so first question is from Simi. Simi is asking, I need to understand the logic behind when we create the element. So for this, like whenever we are using particular element, so I am just trying to answer that at the time. So till now we have used lots of elements. So I hope you understood what element is used for what purpose, right? Otherwise, what I can do, I can share a reference. So here we have this flow guide which is provided by Salesforce. If you see at the top, so here we have flow related things. So if you want to understand all the things related to build, so here we will be having all the concepts like building blocks. So here you will be having everything. You can just go through. So I'm just sharing this link, and here you can just have everything, like whatever you just want to check. Okay, so whenever I get any issue, I want to research it properly. So I just go here, and it is my first reference. So I'm just sharing this link, and will be providing this link in the exercise document as well. So there will be one session on best practices. There I will be discussing it in detail. So very good is asking to start sales and service cloud. So I'm just preparing those content. Whenever it will be ready, so I will start delivering those. Sai Krishna, yes, whenever I will be starting Apex related sessions, so I will be explaining them from the beginning. I will be explaining each and everything from the basics. So Arun Kumar, you are asking how we can restrict the duplicate email and phone through flows. So it can be done. You just need to query the existing data. So here I have one video like how we can prevent duplicate records. So duplicate record check through flow and validation rules. So if you go through this number 54, so through this you will be able to learn how we can do a duplicate check through flow, not through duplicate rule. Okay, so I hope it will help you. Okay, very good is asking, can we discuss the last checkbox which is asynchronous and synchronous? So if I take you to the flow again, and if we go above, so here in the entry condition we have this checkbox which is include a run asynchronous path. So if I check this checkbox, so you will see two paths here. So you can see it is run immediately path, and we have one more that is run asynchronously. So if you want to run something in the background, not immediately, whenever that particular resource is available. So generally, if we want to integrate our flow with any other external system, right? So for that purpose, we can use it, because whenever that system will be available to use, that process can run. So the difference is run immediately processes are synchronous. It executes immediately. An asynchronous process runs in the background later at later stage. So this is the basic difference between these two. So Firas is asking, did we do several DML updates on the contact record with the first example? No. For each record, like in a single transaction, if we consider, so it will be counted as one, because we are using one element. And here also in this example, after loop we are just using this update contact element, so it will be again counted as one, because these elements are treated as a collection. So in previous example where I just use update contact and trying to update all the contacts all together, so that will automatically convert into a collection variable and it will be considered as a one DML operation. Okay, so Raj Saurav is asking, after implementing yesterday's scenario, I am not able to see my flow in Trigger Explorer. So one can be the issue like you didn't select particular object. So if I click, so I'm going to show you account, contact and opportunity. So it is just loading. So what we need to do, we just need to select particular object, and basis on that our flows are displayed. So here you can see when a contact and record is created, here we have this list and this one. So you just need to select accordingly. I hope you didn't select accordingly and that's why your flows are not showing. So if I select opportunity and if I select is created, so only post to chatter on opportunity is available, right? If I select updated, so updated one will be available, but that is not showing. Let me just refresh. Okay, I just need to save as, because I just modified it and I need to activate it, and it is basically implemented on update. So it will be available with update on, okay, it is on account actually. So if I go here and select for account, so on account it will be displayed. Here you can see update contact without loop, update contact without loop. So I just initiated asynchronous path. That's why it is available at two places. Okay, Himali is asking what is the meaning of the fourth option, condition logic. So if I go to the flow and double click, and here if we go, so here we have custom logic. So I think I already explained this condition logic. So if you want to have like 3 4 conditions and you want to put or and in between, so you can just select that option. Okay, Samir is asking very good question. So in this flow, when I just received this get contact, okay, so there may be chances you are updating phone number on account, and after that you are trying to get contacts, but that account is not having any related contact. So what we can do here, we can apply a null check. So I just need to use a decision element, and you can write check contacts for null. So here I am writing is null, or you can say is not null. So here I will be putting get contacts is null, false. So get contacts is basically a collection variable which will be having more than one contacts available. If it is not null, then only we will be moving in the particular direction. So here I am clicking on plus and I am clicking on and, so that we will be having two directions. So we are going to check the contact condition. If get contact is null, false. If it is not null, if it is having some data, then only it will go to this direction, otherwise nothing will happen. So this is good point. Like whenever you get some data from org, so you need to apply the conditions so that we can check whether like it is having data or it is actually null. So Himali, you are asking about the best practices. So I will be having one session on that, maybe on Thursday, Friday. I will explain all the best practices that you can apply on the flow. So Simi, you are not able to save post to chatter due to pre-existing validation rules. So you just need to fulfill that validation rule requirement. So if you fulfill that requirement, then only it won't work. Otherwise, you need to deactivate as of now so that you can just execute your post to chatter. Okay. So I'm going to take next question. Why not select a fast field update in the second scenario of opportunity? Why selection related record updates? As you said, we are updating the same. Okay, so Himali, basically we are using an action post to chatter. So whenever you use any action post to chatter, something like that. So in that case, basically we just need to apply that actions and related record. Right? Okay, very good is asking, can you please explain once again loop in that flow example? Okay, so if you go here, so in this flow, what I did, first of all, here I just get all the contacts. If I open it, so here I'm getting all the contacts which are related to that particular account. So I'm just matching account ID which is available as a lookup on contact. If it is equals to the record ID that we are updating. So we are trying to get all the records. Then if we go here, so we are iterating through that get context. So that get context will be having more than one context. So it is basically treated as collection variable. So we are iterating over them. Then here we are assigning information. So here iterate over contact means the contact which we are iterating inside the loop. So one by one, that contact ID we are assigning into this newly created variable, that is contact record. And in that contact record, we are setting the mobile phone through account. So this way, temporarily, we are creating one contact record in the flow. After that, we are just adding that contact record into that contact list. And once this process will be completed, so if you have 5 contacts, so this process will repeat 5 times. So 5 contacts will be added to this list. Once that process will be completed, so all those 5 contacts will be updated together through this contact list. Because this contact list is having all the contact IDs that we want to update and all the phone numbers that we want to update. Okay, so Kalpana is asking on what scenario we can use of record prior. Okay, so if you want to compare, let's say, for example, if I take you on account record or any other record, let's say on opportunity, we right now updated stage. If I open any of the opportunity and go to detail, so we just updated the opportunity stage. So what happened? Earlier it was prospecting and right now it is closed won. So it will be having 2 values on update operation. One is prospecting and one is closed won. So if you want both the values available in the flow, so for that we have 2 variables. If I take you here, if I add it, so here you will see 2 variables. One is record and one is record underscore underscore prior. So this dollar record will be having the latest value. Like if you are updating phone number on the account, so the new phone number that you typed will be available under dollar record and the previous phone number will be available in this record underscore underscore prior. So we are updating one record, but that one record is having 2 phone number. One is old value and one is new value. So old value will be available under prior and new value will be available under this dollar record. This is the actual difference between these two. So if you want to use that prior value for any calculation, then you can go with this. If you know basics of trigger, so in trigger basically we have trigger.new and trigger.old for that purpose. Context variables. Okay, so I think Kalpana, Umka, your question is answered. So Verikoti, you are asking, can you explain data elements in all the checkboxes? Means what? Can you please elaborate again? Archana, no, we won't be having before and after saved together. Okay, Samir is asking, as we use null check after the get context, similarly, can we check list collection before update? Yes. You are talking about the first scenario that I implemented without loop, or you are talking about this example only, and you are asking to apply null check here on update. So if you are asking for this example and you need to check null here, so that is incorrect. Null check should be available here before the loop, because if there is no record, then what is the sense of iterating the loop? Right, so I hope this makes sense now. So if you have any more questions, so please ask. I hope with this session you are understanding more features of record triggered flow and different elements. Okay, so I think I just explained this. So if you're talking about last one means post to chatter, or this one. So we implemented 3 flows. One is without loop, one is using loop, and one is post to chatter. So in which you are having doubt. So Venu, for your question, like I would prefer learn admin development and learn some specific clouds, and then it will be easy for you to have a job in Salesforce ecosystem. Use the account record that triggered the flow. Update record related to account record that triggered the flow. Yeah, both are same. No. You are saying use the account record that triggered the flow and update records related to account record that triggered the flow. Yeah, both are like different. Not same. Sorry. So Venu, for your question, like right now, sales, service, marketing, commerce cloud are popular. If you want to learn CPQ, that is also demanding. You can learn Omni Studio as well, because that is targeting all the industry clouds. So these are some popular clouds that you can learn. Yes, Sonu, whenever we perform data loader, so flow also works. Okay, so I think there are no more questions. So thank you very much for joining this session. And maybe tomorrow I will explain few more examples of record triggered flow, and we'll try to complete this topic by end of this week. And from next week we'll be starting Apex. So just share this information with everyone who ever want to learn Apex, because I will be teaching it from the beginning. So Samir, I already answered your question. Like in with loop null check, we just need to apply just after the get record. Okay, update record in the data element. This one. Okay, here we have used the account record that triggered the flow. So it means account record through which this flow is triggered, that will be updated. Like an update related record, so related to account. So here you need to search. Okay, here we have account and okay, so this is basically for parent account. This is for parent, not child. Records related to parent means higher to account, parent one. So I hope now you understood the difference. And rest two we already used. So second one we rarely use. First we use for fast field update, and third or fourth we already used. So you are asking why we used the update triggering record. First one or second one? Which one you are talking about? Very good. And thank you so much, those who are leaving. Thank you for joining the session. Archana, no, we cannot create reports through Flow. So EMEA, other than developer, like you can become a consultant if you have knowledge of particular cloud. So Omni Studio, which is Velocity related, is more popular, and CPQ, Marketing Cloud, Commerce Cloud, these are popular nowadays. So, and other than developer, like consultant or like all profiles are in boom. It depends like how you represent yourself in the interview and how well you are prepared, right? Okay, so I think there is no more questions related to this session. So thank you so much for joining this session, and we'll be having 3 more sessions, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I will try to complete each and everything related to Flow in these 3 sessions, and from Monday we'll be starting Apex programming. So just share this information with everybody so that whoever want to learn programming from the beginning, they will be. Okay, Archana, I never created reports, so I just need to figure it out. We'll give it a try. If I will be able to create those, so I will let you know. Okay, so very goody. That is basically related to that first option. If you click on plus and update triggering record, so it will be selecting this first option by default. That is the only difference. If you select update record directly, so then also you will be having this option selected. So that is basically a shortcut, nothing else. Okay, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow, same time,